We are currently live. I have no idea what just happened, but here we go. Here's our intro. Welcome back, fam. Welcome back to another fun edition of their POV with Nick and King. We are your hosts, Nikki Johnson.
And I am the king, King Harrington. What it do, peoples? What it do?
Welcome back, where all points of view are welcome, but some may get the side eye. How y'all doing today?
What it is? Nick, how you doing, baby? How you doing?
I am doing so much better. I still have a bit of a ways to go, but I'm 1,000% better than what I was
I'm
before.
glad to hear.
With that said, let me take a moment to say some thank yous. Well, matter of fact, I need to get the crew in before I really get these thank yous in because all of y'all have been so amazing. I appreciate the flowers, the phone calls, the grocery deliveries, the food deliveries, the vitamin deliveries. People have been dropping off my
Okay.
medication. I've had a lot of prayers. So many of you have called or text or even emailed and back messaged me your prayers. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate it. That was some rough days. And please keep me in prayer because I'm still on that road. But God is good. I have not been hospitalized. I went, but I was released. I have not been on a ventilator. Glory to God. But thank you all so
Good,
much, King.
good.
Thank you for checking on me every day. I want to say thank you
Definitely.
to Sean. Sean checked on me every day. I want to
Hey.
say thank you to Nicole. Nicole was a couple of
Hi.
times a day.
Yes, honey.
Thank you. She was like, "You
You're welcome.
fam, I got to make sure you straight." And also, we have another amazing guest with us today that's gonna be hosting. We have Miss Robin Womack. So thank all of y'all for being here. And we want to thank the fam that is in our audience too. What's up, and what's up, William? And hi, Loretta. How you doing? So hey, if you guys will take a
What's
moment to
up?
please share this to your personal pages and let everybody know that we are live. If you will do that, please. And we have one more comment. Praise God that you're doing well. We love you all. Praise God. Thank you, Robert. Robert also has been checking in on me a couple of times a day. So, with that being said, how are you guys doing?
Good, good. Good to see you,
I'm great,
Good,
Nick.
great,
good.
great.
Thank you,
Yes,
Nicole.
yes,
Thank you.
I thought I was going to
yes.
catch a flight to Texas.
Girl, look, I was going to let you. Jesus. Y'all make sure you take good care of yourselves. COVID ain't no punk, but neither is my God. How you
I
doing
know
Mm-mm.
there,
that's right.
Sean?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How y'all doing out there? I'm glad you're okay.
What it
Like
is?
I said, we was all worried about you, and thank God that you're getting back to where you need to be. Like you said, you're not 100%, but you're not where you were before. So that's a blessing.
Thank you, and thank you again for looking out for me. Robin, what's up,
Yes.
lady? How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm sorry you were sick.
But I'm here.
You're here.
But I am here, and thank you for being here. King, thank you also for
What
checking
it
on me
is?
every
What
day.
it
How you
is?
doing today, babe?
Got to do that. I'm feeling good, feeling good. You know how that go. Um, just enjoying life as it is, and I'm still wearing my new hat. Y'all know I always wear a hat, but I had to shout out my 2021-22 national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs! And we beat down that Alabama Crimson Tide. So I got to get a shout out to them. You know, all the people that made it a good team, and I got to shout out my boy Zamir White, Lawrenceburg, North Carolina. The boy did his thing, first touchdown in the championship game. So got to get that out. But other than that, everything's going lovely. Glad to see the team. You know what I'm saying? My regulars. And then my girl, y'all, we go all the way back, y'all, 1984, Fort Gordon, Georgia, who was in
Oh,
the
Georgia.
military together.
Yeah.
AIT. So yeah,
Yes. With
I'm
your
glad to
Michael
see my
Jackson
girl
jacket.
Robin.
He had on a
You
Michael
didn't have to go
Jackson
there,
jacket.
Robin.
He
You didn't
had
have to
on
go
the
there,
what?
Robin. They
He had
didn't
a
know nothing
thriller
about that.
jacket.
Robin, he had on the what?
They
A
didn't know nothing
Michael
about that.
Jackson thriller jacket.
Come on, Thriller.
Mm-mm.
Did he
And
have
his
a curl? Did
gazelles.
he
And
have a
his
curl?
gazelles he used to wear.
Did he
No, the
have a
brother didn't have a
juicy
curl. No,
curl?
I did not have a
He
curl,
didn't,
Nick.
they wouldn't let you
No.
have a girl in the military, but he probably wanted one. He
Oh,
probably
that's
wanted one.
right. That's right.
So Robin, you never saw the beat it jacket and the glove?
I
No, she
saw
talking about
the,
that's what you told the Thriller. It was
he
like
had
a
the
Thriller jacket. I
thriller
never had to beat it.
and
I
the
had the Thriller
gazelle.
jacket.
And the
I thought you had
gazelle.
the one
Yeah,
with
the
the zippers
Gazelle.
on it.
No, never had that one. I always had the one, the red and black one, the Thriller
Oh,
jacket, and my
He
Gazelles.
was cool. He
Yeah.
had his little Levi jeans on. He was fine.
Listen, y'all, we have so many topics to cover. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Thank y'all again for joining
Yeah,
us
yeah.
today. Listen, we got to hit our disclaimer real quick. Alrighty, and if everybody has shared, we're gonna go ahead and jump right on in. Alrighty, are y'all ready?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay,
Let it go.
so who would like to hit this one?
You need a
Uh,
reader.
It says a woman with one child meets a man with three children and they begin dating. The man's 16-year-old wants a car, but he and the mother cannot afford the luxury for him. The woman, on the other hand, is able to afford a nice used car for her 16-year-old. As the relationship becomes more serious, the man voices concern about the difference in how they raise their children. He states that he and his ex did their best to give their children what they needed, but didn't have it to spoil them. Since his girlfriend made a decent salary and give give her daughter whatever she wants, he asked her to tone down the gift giving to her daughter and start saying no to her so the other children wouldn't be jealous. The girlfriend is turned off by the request and starts to think that maybe this won't last long term while they still have children in the home. His other kids are 11 and 13.
Alrighty, so the question is this: would you tone down your gift giving and rearrange how you spend money on your child or your children to appease your partner who maybe can't afford to do the same for their children? So, to sum all that up, you got this relationship that's blossoming, but the guy who has previous children that are not the new ladies, he and his baby mama cannot afford certain things. The new girlfriend can. So he asked her if she would not just kind of chill on how she's buying gifts for her child, but even say no so the other children won't get jealous. So, panel, POV family in the audience, would you change or tone down the way you give to your children to appease your partner that may not be able to do the same for their own children? All righty, Nicole, you look like you are ready to fire off with an answer.
No,
So let's
okay.
start with you.
Okay, so I don't have any children. So I catch a lot of that. You don't know how to, you really shouldn't speak on it because you don't have no kids. But my question is, before I will give my opinion of this, if it's his income and the baby mama income or the children's mother's income, and it's just my income, if I can't, I don't understand why y'all can't go half and half and do what you need to do. But if it's children, honestly, if there's children in the house, I would take the kids in consideration. Because I would never want to hurt a child. But because I can provide for give to my child, I'm also not going to take away from my child. It all depends on what the gift is. Like if you talking about, my income shouldn't be in there when it's time to give your child a car when it's two of y'all and it's just one of me. Because you got some kids that be wanting, think they're entitled to a brand new car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give my child a used car. I'm not helping you get you. It all depends. It really did. Because I've never been in that state where I had to, you know, but I had to, it was other kids. Now I've dated a guy where it's just one child, and his child had an outside sibling, and a lot of stuff. We weren't never in the same house together. But when his brother came to spend a night with him, because I try to do a blended family thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff that I would normally do, like we would do on a routine, like a family outing, like go out. Like if I went out and I knew on Saturday I was going to buy the child a pair of shoes, I'm going to make sure I did something to be able to provide for the other kid too, because that's just because I'm thinking about the child, not. So that situation I've really never been in. So it's kind of hard, especially with me not having the kids. It's hard for me to speak on that.
Okay, Sean, what you say?
I'm gonna turn the volume all the way up on that sucker to the roof come off. Because if I have a son and whoever I'm dating, her and her ex-husband ever have children, they're not in the same household. Why should my son suffer because they took a different direction in life? If my son is going to school and he's doing good, and I'm not, like you say, spoiling him, but we all dream of getting that car, that vehicle, when we turn 16. And if my son going to school, doing what he's supposed to, making good grades, yeah, I'm going to reward him with whatever I can afford to give him. Now, my girlfriend kids, okay, yeah, let's try to do something. But if y'all can't afford it, don't make my son suffer because y'all made a different path in life. So, but when we all come together and we're in the same house, if we go out, like Nicole said, if all the kids are there and I buy my son a pair of sneakers, yeah, I'll make sure your kids got them too. But I'm not going to base my son's life or whatever I give my child on what you and your ex decide to give your children. Because at the end, when they graduate, they all going to have separate lives. So if you need to encourage them another type of way that money or whatever you buy can't do it, you must do that. But I'm not going to sit and say, nah, son, you can't do this because my friend, her kids can't. And so that, to me, that will probably not kill his self-esteem, but a child, well, I'm doing all this, but what you do for me is based on somebody else's kids. So no, I'm not turning that volume down on how I treat my kids or my child.
And Sean has spoken. Hi, Mama. My mom says, hello, kings and queens. It's
Hi, Mom.
turn. Thank you,
Hey,
Mama.
hey.
Thank you, Mama. Y'all bless her heart. She's been so concerned about her child. All righty, Robin, would you tone down or change what you do for your kids to appease your new relationship with the person with?
No, I'm with Sean. I feel like if we were in the same house together and things were that apparent, no, you're not going to give your child preferential treatment over the other kids, because that could affect a child for the rest of their life. If they thought, you treated me this way, you were never fair, blah, blah, blah. But if we don't live in the same house, like Sean said, if you and your baby mama, for lack of a better term, if y'all, whatever decisions you made in life and you can't afford it and you got 3 kids and I have 1, why should I let my kid take shorts because of that? If we're in the same house, no, I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to buy my child this expensive outfit and then y'all going to Walmart. That's just wrong, right? When everybody's together, everybody's going to get the same thing. But if you live over there, or if we living together in order to make a family, we're going to have to, get on common ground. Our money's pooled together. That's different. So I'm with Sean. Absolutely not.
I got to say, in this situation, it'd be different if it was more of a value issue, right? If what you're doing for your child comes against the values that we say we're going to have as a couple, as we're going deeper into this relationship or wherever we're trying to take it. But in me reading this, it really sounds more like a jealousy issue. And the thing is I think Sean said it earlier, him and the baby mama made a decision on what they will and what they won't do or what they could and what they couldn't afford. That was made before I met you. So now that I've met you, you want me to change what I'm doing because of the decision that you and your child's mother made that I didn't have a input on, and probably don't have an input on, if everything that y'all do is according to your budget, because you're not including me. So if I don't get included on those decisions, why do you get to make decisions for what I do with my child? And then that when he was talking about being concerned to the point where he brought it to her to even start saying no, so the kids aren't jealous, is it really a jealousy issue with the children, or is it with the adults? Now I get it. A child could see their mama's new boyfriend child with a new car, a new bike, a new purse, and maybe feel some kind of way. But is this more about him thinking about how the children feel, or does he feel some kind of way because of what he cannot do for his child financially? King, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm basically like everybody else. Well, I feel like this. Like I said, what makes a difference is the yeah. What makes the difference is living in the house together compared to not living in the house together. So we live together, right? Everybody gets the same, get treated fairly. I buy one, I buy the other. If we're in the same house, that's to me. I mean, that's the understanding there. Because I'm not, 'cause I've been through that. I went through the situation where the favoritism was showed even when we was in the same house. So I've seen that before. Even though it was just one of my parents that didn't do it, but one of the other parents did. So if I had to be in that situation, if I'm going to buy for one, I'm going to buy for other when that time comes. So it's not like, say, for instance, you get to that age of 16 and you get a car, then you're going to get a used car or get one passed over like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? If we're in the same household. If we're not, oh well, I'm so sorry. Like you said, your parents have to work that out. As far as how you treat your kids and what you do for your kids on that level. I'm going to do what I do for my kids. My income, I'm going to spend it like I want to. If I want them to have a new car, that's what I'm going to do because it's my money. But once it comes together, then we have a whole different angle of how we raise these kids up in the same household with the same standards and morals of how we treat them. So yeah, that would be my thing. I would make sure same household, same values, same attitude, doing it together. Outside, to
But let
each
me
his own.
let me throw
I'm
this
gonna
out
handle my
there.
business how I handle it.
Let me throw this out there, and audience, make sure y'all chime in because we want to know what you guys think too. Okay, so you said a couple of times about it being in the same household or not. It doesn't seem like it's gonna make a difference in this situation if they're in the same household or not, because the rules are what the rules are between these two parents over here. So if they move in together, which I don't know, kind of feels like according to the scenario that they may be, but if they move in together, nothing's gonna change
Mm,
as far as what rules these other two parents have set. So in a situation like that, if y'all were in this exact scenario and y'all were talking about getting serious to the point of moving in a marriage, would you counter
mm.
request with, well, I want to start making decisions with the two of you when it comes to the three kids? Because now we're moving lives in together. Otherwise, the rules are still the rules. Everybody's just moving in together. So nothing's really going to change as far as the friction and the differences. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, again, like you said, if we moving in together, if your kids, especially if your kids is coming, most likely, what I'm saying, I'm the male, so you the female, and probably your kids is coming too. So, and I got mine. Oh yeah, I mean that's something we sit down and discuss, and we understand. Okay, now it's an even playing field. I'm not going to do more for my kid than yours, and we're in the same house. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I grew up in that to a certain extent. I know how that feels.
Okay,
So
so
to
so
sit
how do you
there and
combat
be
it?
in a position,
So how do you combat
well, I'm
it?
saying, the thing, me being in a position where I can make the difference is the only way that's going to make the difference. Because when you don't see what's going on, but the other parent's doing it, you bring it to their attention, they thinking that no, I can't believe this is happening because you believe in that you doing it the right way, but that other person don't. So that's where the problem comes in, and this is me being a kid. So the last thing I'm gonna do as being a parent is sit there and show favoritism, regardless. And they're not my kids biologically, but we're living in the same house. I'm not gonna do that. I don't care how much money I make. I'm not gonna mistreat those. I'm not gonna not say mistreat them. I'm not gonna treat them no different than I would treat my own.
Right. So
That's what I'm
but
saying. So we
that's
in the
not the
same
question.
household.
That's not the question that I'm asking, though. So let me ask it this way, Robin. The guy wants you to marry him, so he's asking you to be his wife. But this issue is a difference in between how he and the mother of the kids raised the three and how you raised yours. He comes to you and he says, Robin, I would like it if you start saying no and buy less for your child. What are you going to say to work this issue out with him before you enter into this engagement? How you gonna combat that?
I feel like it's a very thin line between what the household rules is in this house and what the household rules is in your baby mama
Exactly.
house.
Right.
So me and you, first of all, we got to be a united front. Me and the dad, right? Because I've been in situations where the girlfriend bought my daughter's prom dress, and it was like, who authorized that?
Yeah.
So first of all, me and the boyfriend, we would have to sit and we would have to agree that, like Sean said, every kid, if you're like, oh, I'm going to treat all the kids equally, sure, you're not going to like mistreat anybody, but every kid don't deserve a new car. You know, this 16-year-old might be different from this 16-year-old. So surely you don't get a new car because, number one, you text and drive. You're not responsible. You know, so you have to take each situation as they arise and see how you're going to handle it. But if you and this guy or whoever you're in a relationship with, if y'all don't agree, it's going to be a disaster because the kids going to play you against each other. The baby mama, depending on how bitter she is, she going to play you against. It's going to be a hot mess. So I would say me and him, basically, we have to talk. Because I'm not in a relationship with her. Now, surely, if she says, don't braid my daughter's hair, don't do this, I'm going to abide by what, I'm going to follow her wishes because that's her child, right? That's her biological mom. So whatever she doesn't want me to do, I'm not going to do. So it can get very tricky.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that me and him, we're going to have to come to an agreement or him and his 3 kids got to go.
Yeah. I know for me, I want to sit down and talk to both of them because his request comes from their decision, but it affects my life. So we need to all sit down and have a conversation on how we're going to parent these children because I'm okay with it if it's a situation where they feel like I have no say. That's going to help me make my decision going forward because that means for the rest of when we're together, I can't say Jack when it comes to Nikki not doing that. But see, those are type of conversations, though, that people need to have when they're thinking about moving in, getting engaged, and getting married, right? Because there will be those moments when the prom dress has to be bought. And if they don't feel like it's an overstepping of boundaries because no conversation was had, she going to go buy the dress, and it's going to be an issue because nobody talked about it. So, yeah, that's a lot of conversation that needs to happen. Sean, I want to ask you before we close this question out, if it were you in the situation and you really were in love with this woman, but it was just a huge difference in how her and the father of the kids wanted to raise the kids, how would you handle the situation? Would you go for the engagement and just, kind of wash over those issues, or would you want to sit down and talk about it?
We would have to sit down and talk about it because if it's an issue, then it's going to become an issue later. So if we can't come to an agreement before we say I do, we won't ever come to agreement because you're going to feel that way regardless. So if I come to you and say, babe, look, I don't think you should get your kids those things because, I can't really get my kids. You have a better job than I do. But she feels, well, I work hard for my money and my kids are A and B students. They're on the verge of going to college and different things like that. They've been great kids all their life. My son coming in with F's and D's and don't want to do anything and want to sit around the house. I can't say, well, if you get your kids a car, I think mine should get one too. And we're never going to agree because that's an issue within us. And us are the ones that's going to have to maintain that household. So with that being said, that relationship is not going to work because we're always going to be butting heads because we're not agreeing. Pimp down.
Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all.
Pimp down. All right, so I got some yes or no questions. I'm gonna throw this out. Y'all just give me your yes or your no. First question is this: could just having a completely different parenting style make you change your mind on a relationship? In other words, everything else is good, but how they parent their child gets on all your nerves. Could that change? Make you want to leave a relationship? King, yes or no?
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
y'all hardcore. I ain't even. Loretta in the audience says yes. I already know what my mama gonna say. All right, here's another question. Can children that can children that just we talking about other people's kids in a relationship, can those children when they don't want to listen to you and they talk back, would that ruin a relationship for you? Would you walk away from a relationship because of some unruly kids that you can't say nothing to? Robin.
Mm, probably.
Okay, give me why probably.
Well, I mean, I was in a relationship where the kids were a little mouthy. They were from England, and the dad, he suggests that that's me and his problem. We need to talk. And I'm thinking he's a kid. He's like, you need to form a relationship with this kid. So eventually I'll let the kid know, I will knock your teeth out because he left it up to me to handle it the way I wanted to. And that's how I chose to handle it. So
Got you.
after that, we got along great. So it depends. It just depends.
All right, Nicole.
But if I think I'm in a house and the kid is running things and terrorizing and I got to walk on eggshells, no.
I hear you, mic drop, Nicole.
Yeah, it to me, because the guy, this young fella that I dated, his son, I had to like kind of train because we came from two different households. Like the stuff, like we wasn't allowed to say lie, so I would always check him, like, hey, check him out. And his dad thought, I was being hard, so it was a discussion that had to be made between me and his dad. But then, like I said, when your son is with me, hey, it's a contract that gotta be had and made, because it's just some things that I will not let this child do. And you ain't gotta mind me, but you're gonna respect me and you're gonna respect what I tell you to do. So if I tell you to sit your behind down out of respect, you better sit down. So yeah, if we can't come together on discipline, yeah, it's a deal breaker. Let me check out before I catch a charge. What about you, King?
Yo, y'all know how I go. Usually I would say maybe it's the age. You know what I'm saying? Depending, but then it depends on, like you said, how much the parent gives me. You know how y'all mothers are. How mothers are rather. So it depends on how much rope. Oh yeah, it depends on how much rope you give me. Because my thing, how don't be touching. So my thing is, if you want me to help and be in your child's life, we can work it out as far as discipline, structure. If you got this overall where I'm gonna take care of that, and your kid is one of those one that run their mouth, back talk, and then they about 14, 15, don't worry about it. Find you another one because I'm out. You know what I'm saying? 6 or 7, we could try to work it out because you could pretty much kind of like get in their face like, hey, who you talking to? Who you talking to? You can catch them on the lie. 15, 16, they might try to come at you, and I ain't got time to be, like you said, catching no charges. So it depends on the woman. If she wants you to be that male figure to really show some structure and discipline, and you willing to let me do it, then we good. If you telling me that I got this, and he 15, 16, he talking to you all kind of ways, you know
Right.
what? I'll holler at you, ma'am. You have a good life, cause I ain't the one. Cause he ain't gonna talk to me like he talk to you. That ain't gonna work. So that's
I
my
think
take on them,
I
them
don't even think
situations.
I could even sit there and watch a child disrespect their parent and me not respond. I think it's just in me,
Yeah.
because I'm like that with my nieces and nephews. If my brothers them will tell you they can't get to their kids fast enough if they're like step out of, like, I have a 4-year-old niece, and my niece already know auntie ain't playing these games out here. So if I say sit down, like everybody's like, you don't have to whoop her. No, out of all, I have 15 nieces and nephews, and I only had to whoop one, because I have that stuff that I make that respect known. So if I'm gonna make my nieces and them respect me, yeah, your children gonna respect me too.
But see, that's one of the differences of our family structure that we don't have a problem with. So when I'm dealing with somebody else's kids, they have a whole different angle on how they want their kids talked to, and just I ain't got
Yeah,
time to
that's
even
what I'm
confront
saying.
that. Right, but
That's
see, if
what
they
I'm saying.
talk about, that's the thing. I seen them talk bad to their moms and stuff like that. When you about 15, 16, and you talking junk to your moms, you know what? I really don't want to get in, especially depending on how long we've been knowing each other. We ain't been knowing each other long, and I ain't been in that in that area. I ain't trying to say nothing because first time you come out your mouth, look, you ain't my. See, right there, I already know I ain't your pop. So, for you to even come at me like that, kid, disrespecting your mom, I'm gonna leave that go. But see, like you said, with our family situations, with my nieces, my nephews, and we ain't talking. I'm talking my 30-year-old nieces, my 35-year-old nieces. I ain't got that problem because of respect and because of structure. But somebody else, kid, I done been in some situations where I've been good with them, but then you got some that I met. They talk to their moms in the kind of way. I'm like, yo, I don't even want to be a part of that. I don't
Yeah,
even got time for that.
that's what I'm saying. In the beginning, it's just I could just you could just be in my presence and the kid disrespectful.
Oh
That's why I
yeah.
said, yeah, it's a deal
Yeah.
breaker for me because I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
you gonna be mad because I'm gonna yank you. Like, come here. Like, you don't talk to nobody like that. Especially if you just sitting there and letting your child talk to you. I'm gonna look at you sideways.
Let
Go
me
ahead,
let me hit this.
Sean.
Let me hit
Sorry.
this comment from the audience real quick. William says, for it's so hard to not do something to bad kids in public. That part. That part. Do y'all know there are some relationships though where you are not allowed to tell the other person's child nothing. You're not allowed to. And I don't know how. I mean, some people must really be in love that you really want to be with them people to not be able to say nothing to a child. But we're gonna move on to the next one. I think Sean, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, just I ran into that situation when me and my wife got married. I became her protector. Mama, daddy, sister, brother. I don't care who you. You're not gonna disrespect my wife. So one day that conversation did come in. My son was 15 or 16. Her son's the same age. They're a month apart. I told him to do something. He looked at me strange. I said, "Look, I just told you, you ain't my daddy." And I went in because I said, "You're not gonna talk to me anyway, and don't expect a response because I have feelings just like you do." Now I'm going to tell your mother what I did, and from there it's going to decide on do we need to stay together? Because if you can't be on my side, what your son just said is very disrespectful, that's on you. So she told him, you was very disrespectful. He treats you just like you're his son. So why would you even say that? So mom on his side, he goes to his uncle. His uncle tell him the same thing. That's your fault. You deserve whatever you said. Now he go to his grandparents because everybody was raised the same way. So he just thought, oh, I'm going to say, no, you can't say that. You need to respect this man. He never disrespected you. When he referred to you, I refer to him as my son.
Right.
And he's 6'3", and I'm 5'2.5" and some quarters. So I'm just saying
Get your quarter,
when
Sean.
yeah. So when that situation comes and everybody is in agreement and the child understand, oh, they're united front. I can't do that. We good now. And after that, his mom was like, we talked. She said, so how do you? She said, Mom, that was a conversation that needed to be had. He grew from that.
Yeah.
So after that, we never had another problem after that. So even when he was in school, and I remember the first time it happened, and he was introduced me to his girlfriend. He said, "This is my dad." I'm like, "Wow."
Hmm.
So it builds, and I think he learns a certain respect because I was there. So
And you stood up for what was right and everybody backed you. That's important because if the children see a crack in that unity, they're gonna try to bust that booger wide open. Speaking of kids, here's our next one. So a Houston area mom, and she's also a school teacher, she put her son in the trunk because he had tested positive for COVID. Sarah Beam told an employee at a COVID testing site that her son was in the trunk because she didn't want to get sick. Panel, family, is this a punishable offense? And this really did happen. It really actually happened. So y'all know how you have those drive up testing places The person had the employee of the testing site was going to different vehicles collecting information. So when your time came up to get your shot, they already had it. She informed them that her son, 13-year-old son, was in the trunk because he had tested positive for COVID and she didn't want to get sick. What do y'all say? Let's start with you, King.
Yeah. First of all, I ain't laughing because it is kind of jacked up, but I couldn't believe the truck situation. But I did hear about it. I was wondering what the real big story was about
Oh,
that.
it's a real story. She has
Yo,
some
yeah.
real support.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is for real.
Go ahead.
It is a kind of bit like extreme to put him in the trunk, but I know she got a big enough trunk. He can breathe, so he good. But to be honest, I just listen. How? Okay,
We
another thing.
just
How old was the
laughing.
kid?
Go ahead.
How old was the kid?
He's
13
13.
years old. He was
13.
13
Okay,
years old.
so he was like 6 or 7. So okay, so he in the
You
trunk.
know, I knew you
My
were
thing
gonna say
is,
something about his age. Go ahead.
yeah, because I like to use the ages because 4 or 5, 7, it's different attitude. 13, yo, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Hey, the trunk ain't like you're gonna be there for a long time, bro. You're just gonna be there while I get this test. Just listen. Just hey, just listen.
Hold on. Go
You know
ahead.
what I'm saying? We ain't just listen. You ain't gonna be in that long, okay? But this is my thing, and this is why I say this. Based on what kind of health situation she was in, depending if she had underlying or whatever, yo, it could have been lights out for her. And I'm just being real. Depending if she would have caught it from him, it could have been lights out. You know what I'm saying? She could have hit that hospital ICU ventilator. She could have been done. So I ain't gonna say I condone the Trump situation. I'm not saying that, but in lieu of the situation that's going on, and I knew that okay, you know what, you tested positive, and I ain't got nowhere to take you or put you. I could have left him down the street or something, way down. Then I still couldn't put him in the back seat. So yeah. So my thing is, yo, it's just a real quick thing. You stay in the trunk. I get tested. We find out what's up. Then I take you home and then isolate you. But I'm just saying, would I do it? That's kind of what's saying because I got underlying conditions. So
Do you think she should be legally punished? Yes or no?
no, I really don't think she should be legally punished. No,
Okay.
because I don't. Yeah, because I don't feel she put him in any kind of life-threatening situation. He was in Trump, so nobody
Okay.
dies from being in Trump.
Okay.
So yeah,
But before
I
y'all
mean, unless you
jump
got
in, hold 1 second. My mama says that's wrong on all levels, and she from old school, and that's wrong. Talia, I
Hi,
love your name. Unless
Talia.
I'm saying it right, Talia or Talia. She says,
Talia,
no, that's wrong, fam. So King, you made a statement that the child was not really in any danger. Baby, if
I
that
mean,
was, hold on, if that was a
go
car
ahead.
accident, they would not have even known that child was in the trunk. God forbid something
Right,
happened to the
right,
mom as a driver and she can't tell them my baby in the trunk. And number two,
yeah.
she could have let down the window and just ventilated the car or ran the baby home real quick. I don't care if this, hold on, Nicole, hold on. I don't care if this child is 2 or this child is 16. That's your child. Number one. Number two, you can't run the baby home real quick. I mean, in the trunk, I don't know what the ventilation was like. You don't know if that child was claustrophobic. Like, I don't even know if I could talk to my mom again if she had put me in the trunk because I contracted COVID and I can't help it. And I understand where you're coming from. If she would have got it, what would have happened to her? But Nikki ain't nowhere in the world. My kids have been sick, and you don't think about as a parent. Well, no, I don't think about as a parent. Oh, I can't go in there and take care of them because I'm gonna end up sick. As a mama, it don't even matter about me. It's to make sure my child is all right. Put it in the trunk. That's so freaking extreme. I don't even know what
Hey,
to say on
I,
that. But
hey,
before Nicole bust, before she
I
bust,
probably hold on. Push your feet, hold
hold on.
on.
Let me
I
hit these
probably,
two
I'm
real
just
quick.
saying.
Hold on, let me hit these
Go
two real
ahead.
quick. It's embarrassing but not punishable.
But not
And
punishable.
so many other
That's
alternatives
my
out there.
thoughts.
So, William, I would like to
Yeah.
know why, in your opinion, is that not punishable? Go ahead, King, and then Nicole, you got it.
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, me personally, I probably would have another altering type of thing to do. But I'm just saying, in that situation right then, if I'm thinking more so the health situation just then, and I know that the ventilation, I make sure all that's good. If I put him in the trunk, I make sure he got ventilation. I know he ain't got asthma.
How can you make sure of that, King? If they're in the trunk, how can you make sure that they're ventilated then?
Because I already know what. Hey, if I got a car, I already know the trunk space is how the space is. Anybody that got a
No,
any guy that got a
I'm
You
asking
ever been
you.
in the truck?
yeah, you
I'm
get. I
asking
mean,
you. How once that
yeah,
lid
yeah,
goes,
been in the trunk.
once the trunk goes down, King, how can you make sure a child is ventilated? The trunk
Yo,
is
I've been.
down
No, I'm saying,
now.
listen. Oh no, no, understand. You ever been? If you ever been in the trunk, there's a lot of space. There's air in the trunk. Okay, you can
Big,
still see.
but
I
my
done got in the trunk
question to
before.
you is when that trunk goes down,
Exactly. That's
how
what I'm talking
can you
about.
make sure you're
We
not
I've been
ain't
listening to
closing
talking
the
the
about
trunk,
your
man.
baby station
hold on,
wagon.
but you're not listening to the question. Hear the question. When the trunk closes, you're in the
Right.
front seat driving. How can you make sure as you're driving that child can breathe? How? How can you
Listen,
assure
what I'm
that?
saying. I've been in the trunk before.
But you're
So
not
my thing
answering my
is, you can.
question.
What you mean?
How
Because they can
if
breathe.
you're in the car driving? Does anybody else understand the question?
Yes.
But they
If
can.
you're
What you mean? Kind of
driving
can
in the
breathe.
if you're driving in the
Unless.
if you're driving in the front
Okay.
seat and you have closed the trunk down, you are
Right.
inside the vehicle now. How, as
Okay.
you are driving, are you going to ensure that the child can still breathe? Is my question.
I mean, as far as him being able to know how to breathe and the trunk is closed, he's not losing no air. So ensuring, I
You're
can't
not
say
you're not
I
hearing my you
guarantee.
don't understand my
This is what I'm
question.
saying. I can't. Okay, this is what I'm saying. I can't guarantee
Right.
that he can
And that's the
breathe, but
point.
I know what I'm saying is I've been in the trunk with it closed, so I was breathing. So what I'm saying is, even if I'm driving and the door is closed, the trunk is closed, you can still breathe.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't. Yeah.
You
William is saying you can still breathe in the trunk, but neither one of y'all are
can.
answering me. Neither one of y'all are answering how you can assure that you know that child is still breathing. You're driving. How do you know that child's still breathing?
Well, I ain't planning on going that far. I'm gonna check. We ain't driving 30, 40 miles.
Robin, it's
Okay, I'm just
okay. I
driving.
got you, King. Robin, it's on you. Go ahead.
I've been so patient. You sound like Dexter, first of all, even saying when I put him in the trunk. That's just wrong already, right? Now I know people have gone to the drive-in and put their kid in the trunk for a second, which I still have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
But is it punishable? I say no because of her intent. Like I was a CPI and it's like intention. She's
Mm-hmm.
stupid. Should she go to jail? She should get some,
You
she
say
should get,
she's
there should
stupid.
She's
Yeah.
dumb. There should be some type of repercussion so she won't do that again. But I wouldn't even put a dog in the trunk. Like
So
the
you are
boy,
saying that it's punishable in your opinion, then that there
I
should be a
feel like it's
repercussion.
punishable, but what will the punishment be? But she need to know we don't put human beings in the trunk. Number one, you selfish. Because if
Right.
you're a mother, when your kid gets sick, you say, oh, I wish it was me. I wish I was the one sick because my poor baby can't breathe. I can handle it better. You so selfish. This boy is 15. You could have dropped him off at the Wawa and said, sit outside. Don't go around nobody. I'll be right.
Right. Keep your mask on your face.
He 15. You could have dropped him off on the corner and said, stay right here. I'll be back. She just dumb. Like, I would be worried about her sanity, if nothing else. I would need to have a conversation with her to ask her, what made you put this boy in the trunk? He's stupid for getting in there. Because if I'm 15 and my mother tell me get in the trunk, Ma, you're tripping. I'm not getting in the trunk.
He was 13, and you don't know what type of mama she was, though.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
But I'm gonna hit some of y'all comments in just a second. Here's one of the things, though, that I think we gotta remember. She was at one of those COVID testing sites in line in her car. So we don't know how long the child was in there before she told the employee, because once she told the employee reported her. Actually, she asked her to open up the trunk, saw the child there, and then wrote down the license plate number and called the police. From what I can see, being in those lines, sometimes you're in those lines for hours. And y'all, I don't know if anybody on here is from Texas. I think all of y'all are not. It's hotter than fish grease down here in Texas most of the year. So to be in your trunk with however much air, because William says cars are made, I guess, to have air in the trunk because they're not submarines. I don't think that the trunks are meant, though, for you to put people in them. But gangster. But the fact that she did it,
Mexico.
I can't. MC from YouTube says that's child neglect all day, every day. She needs to be locked up for that. And she is also a school teacher. But there were a lot of her parents, of the students that she taught, that went to bat for her. Sean, go ahead with your comment.
First of all, do not pass through the COVID line, go straight directly to jail. My thing is, everybody talking about you can't breathe. I just found out 5 years ago I'm claustrophobic. So not only can you not breathe, he could have had a heart attack back there panicking. Anything other than not can breathe could have gave that child some type of anything that could have happened and he could have died. So as far as I can breathe, yeah, I can breathe, but there's something else that's getting ready. The fumes from the car. You got your muffler back there.
Didn't
So
think about that.
all this other stuff, anything could have happened. 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Like you say, you in that line and you sitting there and she's talking about I don't want to catch COVID. I'm not risking my child's life. I'm not risking anybody's life. Because if it's that important, call the ambulance. Call the police department, call the fire department, call anybody.
Somebody, your neighbor, somebody, yeah.
Versus putting that child in the trunk.
Right. And you know what I didn't think about the fumes. I totally didn't think about that from her car or the other vehicles. But then too, what if, because y'all, I cannot describe to you the Texas heat. What if it had gotten so hot, or because he may have been back to hyperventilating and she didn't hear, he ended up passing out from panicking. And here's another thing: you inside your air conditioning and the child in the truck. It's so much wrong with that. King, why don't you hit this one? You're on mute.
Can't hear you.
As a school teacher, she should have known better. If one of their parents would have done that, she is mandated to report it.
That is so true,
Yeah.
Chiquita. She is absolutely mandated.
They could have left the trunk. I mean, maybe they could have left the trunk open. That might have helped. Could have left the trunk open.
This is
How
my,
are they gonna drive with the? Okay.
this is my opinion. First of all, it's a child. I don't care if he's 16, 18. It's your child. Like, so what measures would you put your child first? That would be my question. Let's not even talk about COVID. Like, so if somebody out there shooting, I guess you're gonna throw your child out there first and be like,
No, you shouldn't be outside. No,
but no, I'm just saying,
different.
like a drive-by or something. And so bullets start flying. What you gonna do? Use your child as a shield?
Go on, boy.
No, we're gonna duck. You know how to go. You duck. You know.
But you're not gonna worry about your child. That is the
I'm
word
gonna tell him
you
to duck.
don't like. The word
I'm gonna tell him to duck.
Selfish.
I'm telling him to duck. What do you mean?
I'm gonna tell him to duck.
We're gonna duck. What? We're gonna duck. What you mean?
Protect your child by any means.
Hey. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Let's understand. I understand what you're saying. Okay, but we're gonna duck because you want me to jump in front of the bullets. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
I'm just honest.
I gotta make sure my child good
Okay.
first.
Yeah, I'm running to get my son.
Second of all,
I'm running to get my son.
Yes.
I'm just
Second of all,
It depends on where you at. Depends on where y'all at.
he has
You
COVID.
say it's a Zoom fight.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He has COVID. You know he has COVID. Why are you going to get him tested? Take him to the hospital.
No, she was getting tested.
No,
She
but
was
you
getting
talking
tested.
about
She
it
was in
depends
the
on
line
where
to
he
get
at. I don't care if
Can
he
I
was
say
in a
this?
boat and I was
Can I say
standing
this
on a
real quick, Sean? Hold on. As somebody that is healing from COVID, I can tell you the issue when it comes to breathing. Just that we're not going to talk about none of the symptom I've had to deal with. Just even right now, I will go on mute and take these deep breaths that y'all really can't see me taking because it literally, I mean, it does mess with your respiratory. And it was worse before today. So we don't know what part or state of COVID that young baby would have been in, but they also in the trunk while going
That's what
through
I'm like. I wouldn't even take my child to the testing spot if I feel like my child has COVID. Because first of all, I'm gonna ask you how you know he got COVID, and if you know he got COVID and he got problems, take him to the doctor. Take him to the emergency room. I'm not putting my child in my trunk.
Mm-hmm.
She handled it wrong.
Myself, if it takes,
she did handle it wrong.
I don't care if he got to put on 5 masks or I got to put on 5 masks so he can be alive. My child is not going in the trunk.
She should have handled it better than that.
But
Yeah,
if
she
a,
should have handled it better than that.
but if a mother put the child in the trunk for something else, she's gonna get charged with kidnapping. She's gonna get charged with child neglect. She's gonna get charged with child abuse. In the
Yeah,
trunk.
she could have handled it better. She could have handled it better. Don't get me wrong. She could have handled
That's
it better.
selfish.
I guess she just looked
That,
at it from a
somebody need to
safety
take her.
issue.
Somebody need to remove the 13-year-old from her house because ain't no telling what else gonna happen.
Let's
My
wrap this one up so we can go to the next one. What are your final thoughts on this one, Sean?
my thoughts is that's selfish because now you're looking out. First thing, a parent instinct is to protect that child. But she said, "Oh, I want to know if I got it so I don't get sick." But your child is sitting in that trunk. You don't know what's going on, but you want to make sure you okay. So you're not even thinking about your child to me. You want to make sure you're not sick so you don't catch it and something happen to you. A parent will risk their life just like Chill talking about depends on where they are. I don't care if my son is on water, bullets flying. I'm walking on water to try to save him.
You better walk on water.
Yeah. So
Your water
this
walking
talking about
self.
the child. If my child is in danger, oh, I'm doing everything I can to save him. Point blank, over.
Right.
All right, Robin, what are your last thoughts?
You know what, King? I hate to come against you because you're my boy, and I hate to keep coming for you when you invited me. But when you said, "What am I supposed to do? Jump in front of the bullet?" I don't. Yeah, I don't want to come. Yes, and I don't know if you're saying that because you're a man. I don't want people coming for me because I said that. But a woman, she's gonna do whatever. If the house is on fire, you go ahead, baby, jump out the window. I lived my life. I'm good. I'll see you later in heaven. Like that's
your
just
back will get burned up trying to put your baby down out the window.
I mean, I'm gonna try, but if there's no other recourse, I wouldn't even put my ice cream. I don't even be wanting to put my groceries in the trunk sometimes.
I was gonna say that, Robin. You won't even put your dairy in the trunk because it gets too hot back there.
So yeah, that's it for me.
King, final thoughts on this one.
Okay, right. Let's be clear. I'm just looking at the situation from devil advocate point. If it was my daughter, y'all know I love May to death. So I'm being honest. You know, if something was to get in front of, I would get in front of May and that bullet. You know that. I ain't gonna let nothing happen to my baby. I'll go to Charlotte in this freezing cold ice on the road if something happened to a girl in Charlotte. So let's be clear about that. So I was just causing the scenario. Now another thing I'm just saying on the other side of the scenario with the lady, she could have been getting tested because she got students. So she's still teaching and she didn't want to infect them. I'm just saying that could have been another reason why she but I mean, honestly, that was a bad decision. Let's be real. Putting them in the trunk was a bad decision. The bottom line, that's a bad decision. Is it punishable? In the climate of today, it shouldn't be on a level where she can get imprisoned or anything like that. No. I feel she made a bad mistake. They could give us some what's that, community service or something. But she shouldn't get jailed for that. Because they're gonna look at it, I mean, ain't no telling how old she was in the situation. So I can understand why she did it. She shouldn't have done it, but I understand why she did it. But yeah, honestly, I would never do it. No, honestly, I would never do it, right? And I definitely would be there for my daughter if something happened. So I just want to let y'all know. But she made a mistake. Right, bad mistake. So yeah. Don't put your kids in trunks unless you know the size of the trunk and you know it's got good space and okay, I'm just messing with y'all.
Bless from YouTube said that's wrong on all levels. Put on 2 masks and put them in the back seat opposite side from you and let your window down. Or it's just so many other things. Your wife says she needs parenting classes. Nicole, your final thoughts on this one?
You know me. Something wrong with that lady. And something need to be done because you just like a selfish person. Like that ain't even like the COVID thing ain't even what's rubbing me the wrong way is you are so selfish and you got a child. Like what else can happen? Because you could have gotten a car wreck. You could have if anybody know my car, I know what's in my trunk. It's a bunch of junk. So like any chemicals could have, flame, anything. could be leaked in like you just don't know. Like, why would you put a child? I don't care if they 16, 18. Why you put anybody in the trunk? If it's that serious, is that your only alternative? Like, is that all you had to do? You couldn't think of nothing else. If you're gonna break the law, let them drive. Drive your own self to go get tested.
It was a bad moment of judgment. I think the part that a lot of us are having the issue with is because the reasoning was that she didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
And that's her justification for what you did. We're gonna move on to the next one. Let me get one of y'all to read that, please.
I got it. This week, Nick Cannon had an all-male panel on his talk show where the topic of men having insecurities with their looks like women have insecurities with theirs was discussed. He mentioned one of his insecurities was being completely naked in the bedroom because he was always so skinny growing up. Do you have anything that you're insecure about? That's a good one. That is a good one.
It was a really good topic listening to the men panel, because all of them, I think it was about 5 in total, 5 or 6, all of them had different insecurities. And the fascinating part about it to me is a man's insecurity is not too different from a woman's insecurity. So I would like to ask you all, and you in the audience, do you have anything that you are insecure about? Let's start with you, Nicole.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be transparent. Like, you know, they say get a bag, fix your teeth. Like, my insecurity used to be my teeth, and I got a bag and I fix my teeth. So yeah, I there's a lot of insecurities with me. It's like, even if it's not physical, insecure thing, like when a guy gives me compliments, and I'll just be like, I've always been the one to look at there's something you want. It's hard for me to be vulnerable. So that's one of my insecurities.
I love the vulnerability you just had in that moment, being honest. Robin.
Girl, growth. What?
Come on, growth. Come on, grown woman. Robin, what about you?
You know, I don't care anymore because I'm just too old to care. But all my life, like, I would say I'm probably even 6 feet, right? Big feet, slim. You know, people ain't really been slim and okay with it since like the 80s and videos when everybody was slim. Now everybody got, you know, silicone this, silicone that. So I'd have to say that, you know, don't really want to go bowling and put your size on the back of your shoe and like, oh, give me the man one, give me the man one size, you know. When you come to somebody's house and everybody say, take your shoes off, and you try to put yours over there because you know, yours just look huge like Shaq shoes, that kind of thing. Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, people stop you in the store. Can you reach the top shelf? You don't want to wear heels because you towering over, you know, that. I mean, like I said, I'm fine with it now, but for a long time, you know, people calling you Big Bird, people calling you Tree, whatever, stilts.
People can be real stupid.
Yeah, people can be very insensitive.
And very unkind. Thank you for sharing that, Robin. We have one from the audience. William says being big and being in someone's way. Thank you, William, for sharing that one. All righty, Sean, what about you?
You're on mute. You're on mute. There you go.
My thing was always my height also, because I never forget I was in high school and this one girl, she came, she said, "You cute." I said, "Thank you." She said, "You'd be handsome if you was taller." I said, "What?" I said, "What that mean?" She said, "You a shorty." She said, "But I couldn't talk to you." And I'm like, "Damn." I said, "Because I'm short." So it always been a problem, because I was like, "Okay, what can I do to get tall?" And they're like, "Well, you still growing till you 18." And I'm like, "Oh, I only got about a couple more years." It didn't happen. So when people say, "How tall are you?" I'm like, "I'm 5'4", and no, you 5'3", and that's where you're gonna be at the rest of your life. So until I got older And once I started living my life and doing certain things, and I said, well, I might be 5'3", but I'm living a lot better than this dude 6'5", 6'10", and all these dudes over here. And so I'm like, it really doesn't matter. Long as I'm satisfied with myself and how I feel and being confident in yourself, that's one of the biggest things. And so I think that's my height was the only thing that I ever, you know,
Thank you for sharing. King, it's on you.
nothing.
You know what? Yo, I ain't gonna say. Hey, everybody has had insecurities. Okay, you know, like you said, I could go back to where my height was a problem. Way back, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, 5 feet was like up until junior high almost, and then I grew up a little bit, and then my thing after that. Let's see, it was I was kind of shy, and yeah, I was kind of shy as far as in the beginning. I mean, just I don't get me wrong. I would talk a good game on the phone. Oh, the brother had skills on the phone, but as far as getting in front of somebody, oh man. Before I really went in the military and stuff and got around something, marching band kind of brought that out more so for me to be able to talk. After the military, when I gained some weight, that was a little problem. After that, I had to understand, you know, you still the band, you still chill. Let's still understand you're a handsome dude. And the confidence, like we see, the confidence overshadowed all that. So that was the early securities. Now it's like, yo, it is what it is. I do what I do. I handle my business. But it comes from confidence. But everybody has securities because, you know, you always think when that one girl dish you, you don't think you look good enough. You know what I'm saying? She's like, ugh, really? And I'll be like, damn, really, I look that bad? And then you have to, you know, have to look in the mirror and then, like, hold up, look up, wait a minute. My pops is handsome. I know I'm handsome. I look like him. So, you know, you get things to build up, you know. But yeah, insecurities like those, looks, weight, yeah, you know, until you can overcome that, yeah, them some big insecurities. And it's because we don't want to see how people look at us to a certain extent until you understand that it ain't about how they see you, it's about how you see you. And once you build that, you're like, yo, sweetie, you don't know what you missing. You know what I'm saying? Small, short dude, big dude, baby, we in. You know,
You
we,
got
we
that
got it like
Kool-Aid,
that. You know
didn't
what I'm saying? So, you know what? So, then you got doing like you know what I'm saying. You got family like that, but but yeah,
you?
that was my insecurities. That was my insecurities back in the day.
For
Yeah.
me, my one of mine was my stretch marks in my stomach after I had children. And they say if you use cocoa butter and you use all these different things, it'll help it. It'll make them go. It did, and I'm 45. They're still here. My oldest is 28. Still have them, but over time, I learned that nobody really cared about them but me. I have not dated one guy that ever was like, you know what, we breaking up because you got stretch marks. No, I actually have some that used to love to rub them because they're very soft. I began to call them my warrior stripes and my tiger stripes. My warrior stripes because this body bore two grown people now. So I gave birth. I carried life. And then the other thing is, they my little tiger stripes. It's what it is. I can't do anything about it. I'm going to love it or I'm going to hate it. And I decided to love it. And I think the moment that I decided to be confident in every part of who I am, that was an actual turn on. Confidence with a lot of men as a turn on. That's an attractive trait. And so now I even have exes that still call them my tiger stripes. They literally do still call them my tiger stripes because that is what I branded them to be. So that used to be one of my insecurities. Thank y'all for sharing in the audience. Chiquita says her weight, trust, and vulnerability. So I'm gonna agree with you on that trust. One of my insecurities is trusting men because I listen with my eyes and I hear your words, but I'm watching your actions to see if they line up. And because of some relationships that I've gone through throughout the years, I don't just trust easily when it comes to my heart in a romantic relationship. So I agree with you on that, Chiquita. And being vulnerable takes a lot of courage, especially
Woo, yes, Lord.
with the amen section. Especially when it comes to a relationship, if you've been hurt in that relationship, or if you are learning to trust in that relationship. So yeah, being vulnerable is not always easy. Anybody want to hit William's comment?
Guys don't give
Big
a
Will
bleep
said,
about stretch
guys do
marks.
not give a bleep about such. So true,
I
so
asked
true.
him
We
to
don't.
tell me
We
that
could care
before. He
less.
used the word, not the bleep.
Care
Yeah.
less. Yeah. We could care less
Um,
about a stretch mark. Believe that.
the men's panel on Nick's show actually made this statement. I'm gonna share with the ladies. They said they would rather you not tell them what your insecurities are, because number one, they don't care. But number two, don't tell them in the act of intimacy, because now they're thinking about it. They really do not care. And if we could get that in our heads, first of all, that you just should love you, period,
Right.
regardless. And know that anybody that is with you because they care and love you. But that most men really do not care about the things we think they care about. And I would say that to the guys too. When Nick was like, he's insecure about being naked because he was skinny all his life. I'm thinking, as fine as you are. So if I was his woman, that wouldn't have been something I would have been thinking about. He would have been worried about it. I wouldn't have cared. So in reverse, some of the things that we worry about, that we really think someone is looking at, or they don't care. They don't care. If they care about you, they don't care about that. Any
Hey,
last
Nick.
comments before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, whoever said that lie, doing intimacy and she tell you something, you like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Say it again.
I said, whoever said that lie talking about doing intimacy, if you tell a guy that, oh, I'm insecure about this, he like, yeah, okay.
Unless they
Well,
say
that's what
they
he was
used to
saying.
be.
They don't care.
If
Yeah.
they say they used to be, if a woman says she used to be a man, you would
Oh,
think.
whoa.
That's a whole nother
Most
conversation.
definitely, baby. Most definitely. Exactly. Yo,
That's
and
a whole
depending
nother
on
conversation.
what kind of depending on what she say though, you might not, like you said, you ain't gonna act on it then, but you can be like, okay, after this is over, you be like, okay, how quick
No,
can I get
You
up
honey,
out
gonna
of here?
act on it if she says she used to be a man?
wait.
No, no, I ain't talking the man part. No, no, no. I said
Oh,
no. Okay,
Oh.
let me clear that up. I'm talking
yeah,
about something
clear
else.
that up.
He did.
No. I
Oh,
said
That's
okay.
him.
no.
I'm
Let
glad
me
to
clear
hear
that. No. I'm talking about something else. Like if she said something like, you know what I'm saying, she killed her husband or her last 2 men or something like, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That insecurity, she hopes she don't get caught. Just anything crazier, but not that. Oh
Yeah, that's
no,
a whole
not that.
crime.
Say, can I just
That's a
ask a
whole
question?
crime.
If
Go ahead,
she
no.
say yeah, I'm insecure because you're gonna hurt me, and you be like, what you mean by that? She's like, well, I killed my husband. You still gonna pursue her?
you gotta
I'm
see
gonna,
it.
I got,
You
Oh,
I
gotta
Yeah,
gotta
see
I
it
finish
got
it.
through.
you.
I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it.
Gotta see it through, my boy.
You
crazy.
gotta see it through. Cause
Hey,
what's they said? Hey, what's they said? If she abused you, you had to kill her.
You gotta
no,
go.
you know what
You
I
had to
say?
kill her.
Hey, it's not you, it's me. I got it
Right.
together.
All right,
No.
guys, we're
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and hit this one real quick. Robin, would you?
Okay, I've been attempting to date this guy for a few months now. I'm 4 years older than him. We both have 2 kids. We met when he came into my job one day. We exchanged numbers, but I feel like I'm forcing him to respond to me. Every morning I text him, gee, good morning, or some encouraging words to keep him in positive spirits. I ask if he's eaten, how he's doing physically or mentally. I ask him if he would like to talk over the phone or just text, and he barely responds. It's like pulling teeth. Yesterday we were supposed to hang out. I got ready, took my kids to their dads, was all dolled up, and I never heard a word from him until 3:49 p.m. the next day with a "Hey, beautiful" text. I'm like, WTF? Should I stop trying or just wait?
Robin. Robin, what do you think about this situation? Should she wait or should she move on?
Well, I just read it myself, but I need a recap because there was a lot of details.
I
So can
got
you
you.
sum it
Long
up?
story short, this guy that had been coming into her job asked for a telephone number. They exchanged numbers, and every single morning she's sending him messages, but feels like it's pulling teeth to get him to respond. They were supposed to have a date that he never showed up for, never called about until the very next day, almost actually the next afternoon. And his response was, "Hey, beautiful." And she's at a point where she wants to know, should I be waiting for this guy or should I move on? Because he don't seem too interested. What do y'all think?
Oh, well, can I? Cause I feel like, because I think that happened to me, right? And whenever, I think guys in jail have phones for one. I do. I seen
They
them on
do.
TikTok.
And
They
they
making
can,
videos.
yeah, they can call you how they want to.
And I think they got certain times they can get on the phone, but he don't even have to be in jail. Maybe he's married. Maybe because, he's on his own schedule, apparently. What schedule that is, I don't know.
Right.
But, how many clues do you need? Like, you text him, he don't respond to several. Then he stand you up too. Like, I barely want to get dressed. So if I put on some clothes and went somewhere and you didn't show up, that's it. You can't text me good morning. Like, at this point, you a whole catfish. Because are they just texting? Are they talking? Like,
she doing all the talking apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if these are real. These are like real questions you got from somewhere. I don't want to say something
No,
and then.
It's a real situation.
So I'm not going.
Really
Okay.
happen.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't know how press you or press Panini at this point, because
incredibly, because she's doing all the pursuing. She's doing 100% of the pursuing, 100% of it, and he just doesn't seem that into her, in my opinion. The other thing is if he asks you for your phone number, you're not even giving yourself time to see what he's about, because you are, from the time you wake up till you go to bed, you texting this man relentlessly. You putting so much into what? You're not getting anything in return. So why are you putting that much effort into it? But the standing me up, that would have been, well, okay, I probably would have had my feel before that moment, but that would be it for me. Because you didn't think enough to pick up a phone and text or call or anything until the next day. And that, hey, beautiful, brothers, I don't know who told y'all that is the line, but it's so many men that use that one, especially when they've been ghosts for so many days. They come back with the, hey, beautiful. I don't understand that one. Your wife says, stop trying. He's not interested. Mm-hmm. All right. I want to hear from Sean, and then we're going to go to you, King. But I want to hear from the audience. Do y'all think as a man, he's just turned off by how she's coming? She doing too much? Go ahead, Sean.
I mean, first, I as a man, I don't think in the beginning that some men don't like to text a lot anyway. Some don't like to get on the phone. You call me, we speak here, there, but the next day you done text me 8 times. I'm like, whoa, why she text me so much? But I can't at least text and say something. And if she stops and say, hey, I'm not sure, I'm starting to get uncomfortable, I'm texting you, this is going to be my last text. If he texts like, hey, I've been busy, I'm sorry. If he responds, okay, you can go from there, because now he's not that type to respond to you. He don't text a lot. He barely get on his phone, but he did want to talk to you. But if he don't respond after that, yeah, cut him off. That's all.
Well, you understand that when I went for the number, I had to add some more to the roster. So once I got the phone number and you started reaching out to me, you was a little bit too aggressive. So even though when I set up the time to meet you, I had another appointment, somebody else. So that's when I came with the next day. Beautiful. I'm sorry. What's going on? Honestly, yeah, it was just adding another to the notch. Yeah, he wasn't really interested. She probably was fine, or little cutie. He wanted to get the number. That's just to, show that I can get the number. But yeah, he wasn't impressed, because when you don't respond to text, when you don't, reach out and stuff, and then you're gonna sit here and stand up, and the next day you're gonna reach out. Yeah, that's pretty much saying, let me see how far I can go with her to pull it off. I'm gonna get to her one day or sometime down the line. So yeah, bottom line, she should know after the text. For women today, it don't take that much if you're gonna text them, or even if she calls. If you ain't getting no response, brother ain't into you. Let's be real. You just part of the numbers. He's not into you. That's just like women. Same way, brother hit up a woman, after 3, 4, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I ain't gonna sit there and be chasing you like that. You can't respond back to me, you know what I'm saying? If you, I ain't got time for that. Apparently, you gave me your number for whatever reason. I asked for it, you gave it to me. I'm gonna use it. When I use it, and I'm sitting here texting, you can't give a brother back, I'm busy, I'll holler at you later, and then I'm gonna take my time, you know what I'm saying? And you said you're gonna take me somewhere, and I'm getting up, and I'm like Robin, I don't like to get dressed, you know what I'm saying? So I done got off, put me in a comfort zone, and then 3:49, you gonna say, hey, handsome, you ain't never hear nothing else. I'm blocking you.
3:49 the
You know what I'm
next
saying? But
day.
Can
yeah,
I just
that's what I'm saying.
can I just say this right
Exactly.
here?
So
Can I mean, it goes back to a few shows prior to what we're doing now, where a guy just got out of a relationship. He sees somebody, and he's like, she's a very attractive young lady. I would like to talk to her, so I'm going to give her my number. Then when it's constantly 8 or 9 messages a day, like, wait a minute, now. I wanted to speak to her. I'm not looking for a relationship, but your flags go up. So
Okay.
you starting to back a little bit, like, okay, did I make a mistake by giving her my number? But you can respond at least, but those flags go up, like, okay, what's going on that she's texting me 9 or 10 times a day, and then she's calling and doing all this other stuff. So he starts to back because he's scared now, because he's like, I just got out of a relationship. I thought she was attractive. We could have some conversation. That was like it, but it might have threw up a sign to him that, okay, no, maybe I shouldn't have gave her my number. So yeah, after a while, if I text somebody that many times and they don't respond, that means they're not interested anymore. But not because he was trying
yeah.
to play her or put a notch in his belt. That just threw up a sign that, okay, I'm trying to get back out there, but this is not what I'm trying to run into.
But see, too, on
Okay.
another tip,
But in
if
that
I'm gonna get my number,
situation, he should be honest then. Instead of
Yeah,
avoiding,
exactly,
he just should
respond,
be
exactly,
honest with her, because
respond,
if he's not responding, she gonna keep on pursuing him, because apparently that
exactly.
may be how she does her relationship style. But when he totally leaves her hanging, but then waits until the afternoon of the following day to, hey, beautiful
Yeah,
her, be a grown man if you're not interested, and just say whatever. Or you could
Right.
have even told her the night that you
exactly.
stood up, you changed your mind. But that's the thing about relationships. Can we be grown? Can we be grown and honest? Nicole, go ahead and give us your thoughts, and
Yeah.
then we're going to close out.
me, I'm gonna get. I'm with me. I'm gonna find out if you a texter or a caller, because really, I'm not a caller. I'll text. First of all, girlfriend was pressed because I don't care if he. Well, he could look like Blair anyway, but I'm saying I'm just not gonna be that pressed. You can't, like, if I send you a text and you taking your time to text me back, I can get that. But if we done made arrangements to hang out, and if I even if I ask you, yo, let's go get something to eat, or let's go catch a movie or something, and you agree, and then the next day you gonna text me, hey, beautiful boy, let me tell you, I ain't gonna respond. Like, we have nothing to talk about, nothing. Because one thing that I require of, I don't care if you're trying to pursue me or you're dating me or whatever, you're gonna make me a priority. I might not be on the top notch, but you're gonna make me a priority.
Mm.
So, like, yeah, we before anything take off, I'm just don't play. Because my thing is, I tell any guy, don't play with me, because I'm the type of chick that I will cut a dude off real quick, and he be standing there like. That's why I said vulnerability with me is really. That's why it's really, really hard. So I need for a guy to be straight up and direct with me, because don't play with me, because you gonna be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. See, I ain't got time to play games.
Mhm.
We're gonna do it this way. That's why I tell people how I am. Like, it's hard for me to get feelings for you. It's gonna take a while, and make sure it's something you want to pursue, because it's hard to get through this brick wall. It's hard.
She said, makes you want to pursue before you start trying to
Yeah, because
tear down that
honey, you
women of
think you
Brewster
just gonna get
Place
a
wall.
bulldozer and knock that wall down? No, you gonna find out it's something else behind that wall, and something else up behind that wall. Yeah, nah. We wouldn't even. He couldn't even text me the next day, good morning, beautiful. He will be on the block list.
Final thoughts on anything that we discussed today, panel. Final thoughts from the audience as well on anything that we talked about. Let's start with you, Robin, and thank you for joining us today. First of all, did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, that was super fun. I say don't put your kid in the trunk.
Please
don't
don't
do that. Don't put your child in the trunk. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Sean.
That was gonna be my exact thought. Don't put your damn kids in the truck. Take them somewhere, drop them off, do something other, but don't do that.
Nicole.
Yeah, the trunk issue, and also know what you're getting into when you get in a relationship with a person with kids, because these kids out here these days is something special. And I don't mean the good way. I mean, like some of the tricks that these kids pull to pull parents apart, and some of these baby mamas be grown. Stop. If you got a good baby daddy, they got a good girlfriend, and then they trying to be in your child life to help better your child, be grown.
Be grown. Mic drop, King.
I'm like everybody else. Don't put your kid in the trunk. Okay, I agree. Don't put your kid in the trunk. Don't do that. Come up with some alternative. Don't put your kid in the trunk. As far as the warnings, look, ladies, if you give the brother your number, you text him, give him about 2 or 3. I'm just being honest. Give him about 2 or 3 texts. That's about it. Over the course of the day. Don't even let it go to a date. Give him 2 or 3. And it's 2 or 3. 2 or 3. Nicole, you ain't got to worry about no text because you ain't getting enough from my man. So don't worry about no wall or nothing breaking down. Just want to let you know that part. But other than that, y'all.
Bring that up. That's another day.
That's next show. Yeah, we didn't have time
anyway.
to bring that one up.
So other than that, y'all, I appreciate y'all being on the panel. Hey, Robin, I appreciate you. You got it this time. We had it last time. We had a breakdown, but it's cool. Glad to see you up on here. Reese, Nicole, y'all know how we roll. So, always love. Nick, we'll talk later. Okay, y'all. Peace, everybody.
Show me
Thanks for
love
coming.
for the people too. Sean, Nicole, thank you guys so much for jumping in and helping out today. Y'all were amazing as always. Robin, again, thank you, sweetheart. You were wonderful.
Can I say peace and soul like on Soul Train? You know when Soul Train used to go off? And they go,
oh, yes. So, listen, before we always like to leave a word of the week to send you guys off until we see you next week. This one, I want to dedicate it to Mr. Ian Alexander Jr. May he rest in peace. For those that do not know, this is Regina King's only son, and he reportedly committed suicide. So please keep them lifted up in prayer. The word I want to leave with you guys was 2 words, and that's mental health. Whether you are dealing with it or struggling with it, or know someone who is, when people reach out to you guys, it only takes a few minutes to be there for someone. But if you yourself is struggling in any area with depression or whatever it is, please reach out for help. Please do not try to do life alone. If you need help, ask for it. If you ask someone and they're not there, go to somebody else. Please reach out for help. That is all that we have for today. Thank you. And thank you so much for a great night. Thank you for your comments. And thank all of you for tuning in today. Until next week, kings and queens, as always, keep reigning. Thank y'all. Bye.